regular board meeting. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ayala.
Here.
Mr. Bickle.
Here.
Mrs. Hines.
Here.
Mr. Coleman.
Here.
Mr. Salzbrenner.
All right, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, celebrations. We have valedictorian and salutatorian here.
Yes, they're not here.
Oh.
Practices and everything else, so I'll just go ahead and at this time, like to recognize 2026 valedictorian, Riley Gerhardt, and our 2026 salutatorian, Maria Lavin. And we will get their, board certificates too. Congratulations to our Val South.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Next we have high school science fair.
Yeah, so the science fair contestants will be recognized by the board, be introduced by their sponsor, James Osborne. I want to note that Mr. Osborne was recognized and awarded by the Colorado Association of Science Teachers for his impact in the science field and for helping students become scientists.
Thank you so much, Dr. Krumholz and the school board. I just wanted to share these two amazing students we had here, Isaiah Peralta and Kimball Osborne. Definitely the leader of the science fair in our senior high school level, definitely the leader in our junior level. We went to state recently and we wanted to make sure we were here, and thank you for supporting the science fair, keeping it going. We look to be stronger next year. We're gonna have students returning with state experience, at least 3 or 4 of them. That really matters in the science fair because it's such a different level. And TSU, they're there for 3 days working with some of the world's experts on stuff. They grow so much. It's amazing to see that. Isaiah got the night off from work and to be here, and we've got to basketball later, but we wanted to make sure we got here and said thank you.
Good job. All right, audience portion. We do have one person signed up. Do we have anybody? Oh, we do not. Okay. Jordan Davis. And just a reminder, there is a 5-minute time limit for speaking, and make sure to follow the guidelines. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, board, for seeing me this evening. My name is Jordan Davis. I have chatted with a few of you over the last few weeks. I wanted to acknowledge the difficult position that the district is in. Certainly understand the financial challenges you're facing and the weight of your decisions ahead of you. I'm here tonight alongside other community members simply to express our support for the district and for the work you are doing to navigate this situation. I also want to share that there is a group here tonight, including swim families, coaches, community members, including seniors, who value the pool and the programs that it supports. We believe in the opportunity and the assets that the pool has for student opportunities, water safety, and community health. More importantly, we are here to advocate. We're here wanting to help. We would like to welcome the opportunity to sit down with the district to explore ways to contribute resources, ideas, ideas, and to support help reduce the financial burden that the pool has. We appreciate you hearing this, and we appreciate you also commenting that you have no intention of closing the pool. Our goal is to be a part of the solution that helps sustain the pool responsibly and realistically. Thank you again for your time, and we look forward to having this conversation further.
Thank you. Jill.
Oh.
Okay. All right, next we have approval of the agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Questions, comments? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Bickle,
Aye.
Mrs. Hines,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
All right, next we have the consent agenda.
Motion. I second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Bickle,
Aye.
Mrs. Hines,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
All right, financial report.
Please give the approval of additional out of district.
It was part of the consent.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, plan at this time, we ready to get Kim and Dimitri on? She's doing. So. Here she goes. Okay, I will turn it over to, Kim and Dimitri.
Do we need to do the financial agenda, the financials first, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just talk real quickly regarding the March financials. They are all pre-audit numbers. And you'll hear from Dimitri here in just a moment, regarding the fiscal year 24 audit. So numbers will change just a hair, not too much. But I need to go do a big deep dive into last school year to make sure all the accounts are in alignment with the grant codes and making sure they're hitting the right accounts in the right fiscal years as well. So looking at this, let me just share my screen. You received your financial packet, and like I said, I'm just going to go over just the summary pages. Each of you, in your board packet, you have the full meal deal of all your financial reports. What I have on my screen, are you able to see it yet? Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. So this is our cash flow. Where is our cash as of March 31st, 2026. So currently we're still right on track with what we have for the amended budget. We are running right at the 60-ish percentile for as of March. We have been working with the whole finance team, Patrick and Jared and Richie, to make sure everything is tightened up and all pre-approvals are being completed on all expenditures at this point. Do you want me to go into any more detail on that, Dr. K?
Wait, we're good.
Okay. So looking at our cash flow, we still have money in the bank. I'm just going to scoot over to our cash account breakdown. So I know we've talked about getting low on funds. So Dr. K, Sarah, and I meet twice a week and review all of our cash, and we try and keep everything in Colorado Trust to gain as much interest as possible. So looking at March, when you look at the very bottom line where it says remaining checking account cash, I know that looks a little lean, but however, we did do a Colorado Trust transfer on the 1st of the month. So we did cover it right away, right after all bills were paid, but this is what our financials look like as of March 31st. So we are keeping as much in the Colorado Trust to gain that interest.
So we move money fairly frequently into the Colorado Trust, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Currently, our state funding does not cover our payroll. So we're upside down roughly $75,000 between what we receive from state funding and what is paid out through payroll. So then we have to transfer the remainder amount from Colorado Trust to help with all of the other overhead expenses. Just scooting over now to our balance sheet. Looking at our balance sheet, I am going to be now doing a deep dive in here since we have our fiscal year 24 audit completed. So I'll be able to correct or reverse the receivables and the payables and such that are on the books. I know those are all accounting terms, but within the next month, Sarah and I will be doing a deep dive because we're at the end of the school year and we need to be conscious of food service fund to make sure that we're within compliance of our food service funds and making sure we do not, or making sure that we have the equipment that's needed and any of the other items that are needed before the end of the year is completed. We did go over the, during our working budget meeting, we did go over those capital projects. So some of that is all intertwined. So we'll have more information for you coming in May.
I know I've asked this before, but could you just explain to me again the accounts receivable line items? Go ahead, sorry.
No, please. What the accounts receivable means is we have to record the books that we're expecting money and we did not receive it in the current school year or the current month. So we're expecting money from a source. So we want to record it on the books that we are expecting that revenue to be coming in.
Got it.
So if I scoot down here, I have the balance sheet showing, you'll see like this taxes receivable.
All right.
So that taxes receivable, now that FY24 is completed, now I can go in and reverse the receivables that we received last school year to cover some of those. So I will be doing a deep dive in there. I will be working with David. He's one of our auditors, just to make sure everything's all buttoned up before it does get handed off to audit. Do you have any other questions? I'd like to give Dimitri some time to talk about the audit. So that's where
Just to report first.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve the financial report.
I make a motion to approve the financial report.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the financial report. Questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mrs. Hines.
Aye.
Mr. Colomans.
Aye.
All right. Next, we have the 23-24 audit.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for having me present this evening. So we have completed I guess I wouldn't say the audit, but the disclaimer of the audit report, which you should have received. I sent it over this afternoon. And along with the recommendations that come with them, I will be happy to share my screen and kind of walk through what I typically do on an audit, just to give you guys a kind of a breakdown. Is what I do is kind of go over our responsibilities, what we did, what we didn't do, and kind of go over the results of the audit as well as any recommendations that we have made. Obviously, we've had conversations a few months ago about what to expect from the fiscal year 2024 audit and what the opinion is going to be. And so we have kind of fulfilled that expectation. We did have a disclaimer of an opinion, and so I will just kind of present and show you kind of what it looks like and really what it means in terms of how it really impacts the district overall.
Dimitri,
I don't-
can you speak up just a little bit? There's a lot of background noise. And
Okay.
it's kind of hard to hear you.
Is that better right now?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I will try to speak up as much as I can. So my point is I will try to explain the report you're in front of you, or the report you're going to see, as much as I can, and try to explain it in layman's terms so you can kind of understand what it means for the district. I don't have all the answers, but I can explain what this means and kind of how to move forward, and how to remedy the situation the district is in it currently. And I try to keep things pretty layman's terms. I try to keep it pretty straightforward so you can kind of understand what's really happening. And if you have any questions, please interrupt me. I'm happy to answer any questions as we go. So usually what we do is we kind of talk about our responsibilities in the financial statements and everything we usually do. And we exercise professional judgment. We follow auditing standards, general accepted auditing standards like every other auditor does. But we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. Obviously, we're independent of the district. We're not, we have no relations to anyone at the district. We are independent, purely independent auditors that are hired by the Board of Education to perform the audit. Where the way we do the audit is we identify and assess risk of material misstatement. So really our goal for any audit, for those of you who may or may not know, is to make sure that the financial statements presented to you and to present to the public, as well as the state auditor's office and the state, are presented with no material misstatements. Basically, that we are basically saying the financial statements, aside from any sort of insignificant information, is reliable, whether due to fraud or error. And so we designed pro forma procedures in response to risks that we determined. Now, we determine risks for each area within the financial statements and decide whether we should perform certain procedures or additional procedures. If we feel that there is risk, we will perform additional procedures. The other thing we do is we obtain understanding of internal control. So we discuss with management of how things are done and what is the process. What's the process for payroll? What's the process for accounts payable? What's the process for different areas of the district's financial processes or financial procedures? And so we try to understand how everything works to see if there's, and follow that up with testing to determine if there's any potential lack of internal controls or best practices, issues with best practices and things like that. And then we look at policies and significant accounting estimates, because not everything in the financial statements is relied upon from a third party. Not everything can be tied to a bank statement or an invoice. So there are some things that are estimates in the financial statements that we evaluate based on the governmental accounting standards. Now, we also look in our judgment that whether there are any conditions or events that may raise doubt about the district's ability to continue within a reasonable period of time. Now, that can be anything from, over budget, not enough money in the bank account, kind of like with the issues that the district has been facing. And so we evaluate that and we look at that closely to make sure that, that we report that to the public, or report that as part of our report to say, yes, maybe there is a concern or there is something to be worried about in terms of operations moving forward. Maybe it's something that can be remedied, but it's something that, we need to disclose. So with that being said, as we discussed previously, because of the way the financials have been prepared and provided to us for fiscal year 2024, and the fact that there was some information that was maybe even unavailable, and the accounting records not being in the shape that we're used to seeing, or being even auditable, to be honest with you. The financial statements that we looked at for fiscal year 24, we barely even were able to dive into because they were not unauditable. The cash was not reconciled, bank statements weren't reconciled. And so there was a lot of issues. And due to the timing of everything and the fact that the district needed to complete the state statute in order to avoid further withholding of property taxes, we felt, based on discussion with you and management, that it's best to just go through with a disclaimer of an opinion. And that's what the results of the audit are, is that we're basically saying we're not giving an opinion on these financial statements. But the financial statements you're looking at in this report are unreliable. we cannot verify that or opine and say that these financial statements can be relied upon by anybody looking at them, really. And that's that's all that means. And before I move on, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Moving forward, we also noted that we obviously did some procedures. Just so you all know, we did procedures. We did look at information. We did look at Kim and Sarah were helping us provide some information to us. So we were actually able to do some procedures. We didn't just say, there's nothing here to do and we're done. You know, we actually looked at everything. We're required to look at some things and make the determination based on our procedures. And I think that's something important to point out. We are not opining on anything. We're not saying there's any fair presentation of financial statements or that we can, we can, you know, anybody can rely on. We're not saying that at all. We're disclaiming our opinion, but we did procedures. So we did identify some corrections from the previous year's financial statements. We did identify corrections in the financials that we were given. We didn't look at all of them, but we looked at some of them to see if we saw some obvious ones that we worked on with Kim and Sarah. We pointed them out and provided the adjusting entries to them. Although, again, it's hard to know what, you know, this doesn't encompass all corrections. It doesn't encompass all adjusting entries because, again, we didn't really finish our audit. Basically, we can't opine on anything here. And so that being said, we also wanted to point out that we do feel, because of the lack of cash that district has at this point, that we felt it's important to call out the substantial doubt about the district's ability to continue as a going concern. Meaning, we're basically saying, alert, the district has some financial issues outside of just the audit here. We're talking about there's maybe some cash concerns about how much cash there is in the bank. Is the district going to have enough to make payroll? We also understand that this audit is as of June 30th, 2024, right? So we're looking at a period in time between 23 and July 1st, 2023 and June 30th, 2024. We're not talking about, you know, April 27, 2026. We're talking, you know, so we have to kind of focus our time frames a little bit. And so at that point in time, we would say there's a going concern. However, we also know, talking to Dr. Krumholz and Kim and Sarah and your management, that there's a lot of things being worked out that are mitigating this issue. We are fully aware of the circumstances and the situation. So I know there's remedies occurring as we speak. So again, any of the recommendations that I make tonight or any of the comments that we're making tonight is something that is based on our previous discussions and discussions with your management, that they're already being in process. It's, you know, we feel like it's being remedied. Now, we haven't verified anything, we haven't audited anything, so it's hard for us to verify that, but based on our conversations, it seems like the remedies are already being put in place. Everybody's aware of the situation and things are being improved. Any questions before I move on?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, so that being said, once again, this is a disclaimer of an opinion, and we're just purely talking about financial statement audit. It's the independent auditor report, financial statements only. And so we usually provide a governance communications letter to you that kind of talks about, here's what we find. And this letter really is intended for the governing board as well as management, and to really talk about any issues that we discovered. Obviously, a lot of these are very, very, you know, obvious and something you've been made aware of previously. So this is nothing new. I just want to make sure it's pointed out, and that, you know, we are doing our due diligence and doing our jobs to disclose this information to you. And so we obviously have a disclaimer of an opinion. It has to do with the accounting records not being prepared. Honestly, you probably have a combination of multiple factors that happen over the course of the last few years to cause this, and including, you know, just not managing proper accounting records and mismanagement of funds, and in terms of, you know, how it's done, so how it's tracked, and turnover, and all these factors factor in what that caused the situation the district's currently in. So that's why the disclaimer and the opinion is there, and we just can't audit the information provided to us. And because usually what happens is in an audit is we're provided the information is as accurate as possible, and then we start auditing and we basically verify that everything is done correctly and the information doesn't have any material mistakes, is what we call it, or significant errors. And we weren't able to do that because we knew there were significant errors right off the bat. And due to timing, there was not enough time to really, for someone to go through and clean it up before we could even start the audit. So we barely even touched the financial statements. We did some work on them just because we wanted to make sure that we are giving you a proper opinion here, that we are displaying, it's proper to disclaim an opinion. So we tried our best to actually work through everything and get through everything, but we realized due to time, that was not going to be possible. So again, and this kind of stems into my next comment about internal controls and best practices. This all stemmed from the fact that the district did not have proper internal controls and the best practices in place. And that's super important. And I think we have that remedied now with Abacus coming in, and I know Kim and Sarah are working to clean up the accounting records. So I think you have some of that already corrected, but you also have to keep in mind that they also have to be corrected internally. Like there has to be processes and policies in place at the district, so when there is turnover, that it's not impacting the best practices and accounting records and internal controls of the district. That is extremely, extremely important. Again, any of these lack of internal controls and lack of policies, it could cause not only error, but could cause potential with fraud. It's hard to know what's there and what's not there when there's no internal controls, there's no segregation of duties, reviews and approvals. Those are the common things when it comes to internal controls and best practices. And also oversight by the board in presenting information to the board, and so the board's aware of the financial position that you're in. Clearly that's happening now, but I'm not sure it happened previously, and that may have contributed to the cause of the current situation. Moving on to non-compliance and fraud. Again, when you don't have controls in place, when the district doesn't have proper policies and procedures in place, when there's major staff turnover, some things fall through the cracks. There's definitely non-compliance with the state auditor. That's a fact. That's why there's property taxes being withheld. And so now that maybe that's resolved, that's going to hopefully, become more timely, and then the district can become back into compliance with these state statutes. However, again, we're not sure. We still have unresolved and unreconciled material misstatements. We have not audited any numbers in your financial statements. We can't put any reliance on them. We can't put any opinions on them. And therefore, we don't know what we don't know. And so we want to make sure you're aware that there could be non-compliance and potential fraud that could come out at some point, eventually down the line. But that's something it's important to be aware of, that there's not really an audit performed, so it's hard to know what's going on during fiscal year 2024, and what was non-compliant. And
then I have a question.
Yes.
How long are we gonna? How long is how long? When are we gonna know this is over?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, you indicated there could still be further issues or further complications. When are we going to know there's no more complications? There's no more issues? When are we going to know it's put to bed?
Mr. Collins, I'm not really sure. It's hard to know at this point. Until we start going into fiscal year 2025 audit and 26 audit and so on. Right now, you have a disclaimer of an opinion on a fiscal year 2024 audit. So that's done and you move forward. But what I'm saying is there's things that are not audited, obviously. So it's hard for me to say what could come out and what's not, what's there, what's not. I can't give you a time frame when it's finished. The audit is we have not audited anything, so it's hard for me to give you anything definitive about the fiscal year 2024. Now, the moment we audit a financial statement or audit a fiscal year, then I can give you maybe some idea of the state of the information that, or the state of your financials at that point. But at this point, I can't give you that.
So what I'm hearing is you're saying 23, 24, we're done with that, so we're doing the disclaimer. But now you're getting into 24, 25, and you don't know what that's gonna be all about.
Right.
Is that accurate?
Correct. That's correct. Because we haven't gotten there. It's nothing. It just, I want to make sure the board is aware that fiscal year 24 was not audited.
We didn't have Abacus until spring of 25. So prior to them being there, we don't really know how it all went. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
And that's what, if I can add, that's what I have to go in and do a deep dive, just to make sure everything is recorded properly from July of 24 through June of 25. Because I believe we began May of 25.
That sounds about right.
So one thing I want to point out that the district also had, in what we call an attestation, it was required by the auditors for the PARA, for the pension, for the Colorado PARA, which provides is a pension association. We did identify some things that we will put in a separate report that is really meant to be for PARA. We did that on behalf of them. They asked every auditor of every district to go in and do a bunch of verification of certain data. We did find that there were some things that were not calculated right, and that there were some things that probably should have been calculated differently. And this may cause some issues, for the district in the future. And I did want to point that out here, because we were aware of that. Again, we didn't do an audit, but we did an attestation for that we're kind of on the tail end of completing here for PARA, on behalf of PARA. And I thought it was kind of important to bring that up to the Board of Education, to see you as board members know that is also has been sort of dug into, and there were some things that were.
Can you say that again? Sorry, you're cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize about that. Yeah. So basically, we had to do an attestation over PARA information that was reported and calculated by the district, and that was submitted and reported to PARA. And this information we're on the tail end of completing, and the information that we identified, that we reviewed and identified, there were some attributes that PARA was requiring us to verify that were not satisfied. How's that? And were not calculated properly. So I did want to point out that there was a couple of things that and keep in mind that we were looking at records from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. So we're not talking about 25 or 26. We're purely talking about 2024 calendar year. And that was required by PARA to perform. And so just so you're aware that there were some issues there. And I just want to generally point that out to the board and to Dr. Krumholz as well. Grants reconciliation, again, grants were not reconciled at year end June 30, 2024. So we are not able to verify anything with grants and say that they're properly reconciled, or again, we're disclaiming an opinion, which means we didn't audit grants. Anything we identified through our typical process, we have provided a journal entry or an adjustment to correct if we did identify anything. But again, we're not opining on anything. We just looked at things, we dove into things just to see if we can make heads or tails of anything, and so see if we can identify some easy corrections. But again, it's hard to say because we couldn't really fully audit the district for fiscal year 2024. So there could be some non-compliance. There could be some issues with the grants. again, there was some serious lack of internal controls, and therefore it's really difficult for us to really give you a strong opinion on it, or any opinion on it. But really, I just want to point out that there could be non-compliance with grants, and it's important to point that out.
Can I also add, Dimitri, with the grants? Even though you weren't able to verify Madison's before we can finish the FY25 audit, Madison, part of our abacus team, she still has to go in and realign them and make sure everything is per that grant and what it is intentions are for. So we will be going back through and reviewing them again.
Substantial doubt about the district's ability to continue as a going concern. This has to do with, like I mentioned previously in our audit opinion description, has to do with the fact that there's, a estimated cash balance of 3.9 million. I took this straight out of your financial report, Kim. There's only 68.7 days, estimated days left in cash at this point. And so we just want to point that out. Really, it sounds like things are going to recover. The district's clearly working on a remedy. So I did want to point that out. But again, I want to bring that to your attention. And again, if we have auditable information in the future, and that's what this next comment is basically saying. Look, if we have auditable information, we have information that's more or less correct, something we can start to audit, we will audit it and we will get it done in a timely manner. But due to the lack of information, the lack of accurate information, we were not able to complete it. And especially the timing that required for the district to receive its funding, we were not able to complete the audit. But at this point, we're kind of looking forward. So with that, I really don't have anything else. I'll stand for any questions or anything you want to discuss.
Has this happened at other districts before?
A disclaimer?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Do you know which districts that was?
I do, but I don't know if I'm at liberty to say. But maybe Kim can fill you in.
I'm not sure at this point. I believe we could probably have Dr. K look in and see which ones it is and relate that.
One thing I do know is we are one of 3 districts in the state that doesn't have the 23-24 audits done. I had a meeting with CDE last week, and there's a glitch in the system to where they can't start the 26-27 pipeline until they go back and wrap up 23-24. So we're not alone. There's 2 other districts that are with us in this situation, but we're making sure, and we have the partnership in place to put the controls that Dimitri's talking about. As soon as we can audit the 25-26 year, we know we're going to be fine. Our current school year, it's just getting to that point.
Any other questions for Dimitri?
I do. So you're saying that para and our grants can still come back and we end up having to pay something back?
Pay something back?
Like we might get fined or we didn't finish our grants.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have
potentially.
So okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That could happen. I'm not saying it will. It could happen. Absolutely.
Any other questions for Dimitri?
What, just a timeline on 24-25?
From our point of view, I will say that we haven't even started. So we're working with Abacus. Abacus needs to clean up the accounting records for us to be able to audit them. It's kind of one of those things. It's not audited, we're not bookkeepers, we're auditors. So we have to be able to audit information. So information has to be presented to us, has to be accurate, has to be complete. And once it's complete, accurate, then we are able to to start the audits. I will tell you this, that, we have cycles. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, as soon as you guys have it ready, we'll start on that day. That is, we have to schedule the audit. We have to schedule time. We have to schedule our staff. So, we are currently in the middle of our busy season, which is going to last probably through June or July. And so afterwards, or sometime during that time, as our staff frees up, if the information's ready, we can schedule a time and start the audit. So I do want to make sure I'm careful setting expectations, and that, it's not something that's super quick that we can turn around, in a matter of a week. It's something that takes probably a month to 2 months, depending on how clean the records are, right? If the records are at a decent are fairly clean, then the audit can go as quickly as 30 days. And we also have a quality control process internally where we review financial statements. So if our staff do the audit work, our managers review the audit work, I look at the financial statement once it comes through. So there's a whole 3 levels of review in our firm. So I do want to set the expectations right, that, as soon as the accounting is ready, doesn't mean the audit's going to be ready a week later. It's going to probably take a little bit of time to get it done, especially if you want, a potential clean opinion, and that requires, us to make sure that the financial statements are materially correct.
Any other questions? All right, I'd entertain a motion. To look at 2020.
So I would make a motion to approve the 23-24. What is that? Audit.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 23-24 audit as presented. Questions, comments? All right, roll call, or Greg,
I just thought, okay, once this is submitted, what's the turnaround from the county? Do you know, or is that?
I'm not sure. Kim, the question, I don't hear the question. Once this is turned in, how long before the county?
I worked with another school district recently, and I believe once everything was finalized, I do have an appointment. I have most items ready. There is one form that you'll have to sign. Jill has that for you tonight that needs to be signed. I have to create a pipeline file yet. I'm working with the software on Wednesday, so hopefully by end of week, it'll be submitted to CDE and all parties that are needed. And then usually what I found, it was like about a 2 to 3 week turnaround before the property taxes they came in for another district that I was working with.
Thanks.
If I may make one, sorry, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
I just wanted to finish. I was waiting. I don't know what's the appropriate time to make this comment, but there's 2 things I want to say. Number one is, I know it all sounds like doom and gloom coming from an auditor, but I do want to say that things are progressing based on my just observation. Things are progressing in the right direction. It feels like, from my point of view, and talking to Kim and Sarah and Dr. Krumholtz, and I think, Dr. Krumholtz is doing a really great job leading the way on that, making and setting the ship right. So I do want to say that there is positivity in this, that it's not just all doom and gloom. So I just want to thank everybody for working hard on this and then really trying to get us information so we can finish this report. Thank you.
All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mrs. Hines?
Aye.
Mr. Colomans?
Aye.
All right, moving on to minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the March 23rd, 2006 board meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of March 23rd, 2026. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Bickle,
Aye.
Mrs. Hines.
Aye.
Mr. Coleman.
Aye.
All right, superintendent's report and recommendation.
Okay, first thing I want to report is last week, we had our first, meeting for the strategic plan. We had about 30 people, community members, students, staff, representatives from Otero College. And we got together over 2 days and we built the initial draft of our priorities. We are currently sent it out to all the community members. We have emailed it to all our parents, students, 5th grade and above, to get feedback on those priorities that we've identified. And then we will come back in May, the core group will meet to finalize our strategic plan. And then we'll present it to the school board and broadcast it out to our community. But they really did, it was a lot of work. We're excited about where we're headed. It was just a really good experience. And I did want to say something. We had, one of the things that we had from, they did an audit, each school, and the primary and intermediate also had the same TNT, which is our partner, audit last year. They were, their scores doubled when they came back. We were 90–95% as far as seeing quality curriculum, seeing strong instruction, especially in math, was like 100% in the intermediates. Something that our presenters who do this in all different school districts have never seen such jumps. So it's something we're really excited about, that we are seeing gains, and we think the entire system will continue to see gains as our teachers are working really hard, administrators and students are doing a great job. And we just finished testing and we're really confident you're going to see a lot of gains next in August when we get our results back. The next thing I have is just want to update. We are moving junior high sports to after school. In the last few years, they have been doing it there in their 7th period, and we want to, one, make sure our students are able to take all their classes. So we're really excited about that opportunity. Plus, not limit our time with our athletes to where they have to do quick practice and be on their way. We're going to bus students back to the intermediate after school to practice in the gym and on the football field. So we'll begin that next fall. And again, we have everything set up. Mr. Grassmick's worked with all the coaches. He sent out some information to community members. So we're excited about that move. It's going to help academically, and it's also going to help athletically, giving those kids more time to learn the skills in their chosen sports. And the last one I have, I just wanted to let everybody know, we are suspending Lahanna's, our swim team at Lahanna High School. And the reason we're doing that is the last 2 years, we've had 0 athletes on the swim team from Lahanna High School. They have been coming from other school districts in the area, but we have been paying for all the coaches, all the transportation, all the fees. That is the reason that we've done that. Swink is looking to partner with us on looking at how they can sponsor a swim team, but I just want to be clear, that is the reason the swim team will no longer be with Lahanna High School starting next fall.
And that's completely separate than discussion about.
Completely separate.
2 different things.
We were looking at, about $25,000 to run the swim team. Without any athletes from Lahanna, we felt that money needs to be redirected to our students.
Right.
Any questions for Dr. K? All right, moving on to new business. Approve resolution, teacher contract cancellation. Dr. K?
This is the final stage of the reduction of force that we have had the last 2 meetings. No one called for a hearing, so at this point, I think we provided you in your package with the teacher names, but we have finalized that process.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the teacher contract cancellation resolution.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution exhibit E, teacher contract cancellation as presented. Questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mrs. Hines.
Aye.
Mr. Coleman.
Aye.
All right, letter B, approve certified staff employment renewals.
So I recommend the approval of certified staff renewals for 26-22N, resolution 2026 2P, and resolution 2026 2U as presented in the board packet.
I'd entertain a motion.
So before, can I ask questions after we motion? Okay. Then I make a motion that we approve the certified staff employment renewal, certified 2026 2N, certified 2026 2P, and resolution unique 2026 2U.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution certified 2026 2N, resolution certified 2026 2P, and resolution unique 2026 2U. Questions, comments?
So far, the only person that's doing a unique contract is the person named in that document. Nobody else has asked or anything, right?
Correct.
So when is their deadline to do that if they're gonna do that?
We have, we're pretty close to it. I mean, we've reached out to everybody who was retiring and offered it to them. Some were not interested, but we have reached out, and so we looked on who was retiring. We did that a few months ago, and that's where we're at with that unique contract.
Can you explain what a unique contract?
Sure. So, the unique contract is, so when a teacher retires, you're able to work, we're a critical shortage, so, so basically the teacher can work 110 days in a calendar year, not a school year, but a calendar year. So, if somebody's retired, we can bring them back on a unique contract, and they're able to, still maintain their retirement, their para, and also get paid to be a teacher.
Thank you.
And it's called a lot of different things: transition contract, unique contract here, 110s. And the district can apply for also 140s, because 110, problem is if you start in August and then you come back in January, I mean, it ends, so the new year starts in January, but if we were to bring you back that following school year, you'd run out of days. We do, because we are a rural school district and our needs, we are able to apply for critical shortage. So we're able to bypass those 110, 140 restrictions for anybody who's retired, as we're just trying to fill positions.
So these are all renewals, right?
Yes.
Maybe this isn't the right place to ask you, but what about how many vacancies do we have that we need?
We have, teaching wise, I think we have 3 or 4. Okay. So off the top of my head, and then, I think we might have a couple classifieds out there, but, we have about 3 or 4, maybe 5, but current openings. Good. And the principals have been working to, to fill all their slots, so we're pretty close. I mean, as far as this is end of April, we're pretty close to have everybody staffed.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala. Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mrs. Hines?
Aye.
Mr. Colomans?
Aye.
All right, letter C, the Director of Operations job description.
Yes, so we are presenting, a position for the Director of Operations. This is a new position created to cut costs. What we have actually done is we are, we have a position, the Director of Facilities and Director of Safety. We're cutting both positions, and then creating a Director of Operations. We also have not replaced our human resource, person from back in late summer. So we've gone this year without one. So we're really consolidating 3 positions down to a Director of Operations who will oversee all those departments.
I'll make a motion to approve the Director of Operations job description.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve job description for the new Director of Operations position. Questions, comments? I just wanted to say, I know that one of the things during meet and confer that was brought up by the teachers was that they didn't have a direct point of contact for HR. So I think this is really nice that they will have a clear person of who they go to, if they have questions, so. All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mrs. Hines?
Aye.
Mr. Colomans?
Aye.
All right, letter D, approved revised administrative support salary schedule.
All right, so this is, recommend the approval of the revised, administrative salary, support salary schedule. This is the salary schedule for the new position to include Director of Operations. We basically just took the other salary scales for Director of Facilities and used that same, scale. So that's what we're asking for this position.
I entertain a motion.
I
Go ahead.
okay. I vote. So we accept the, administrative support salary schedule.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the revised administrative support salary schedule. Questions, comments?
I was glad because I'm glad we have on here, we will recognize and increase for our business manager, people with BSBA and an MA and a CPA. Because I think that's important to get qualified people in those positions, that we're willing to recognize those distinctions. So I don't know if that's been done, I've not ever looked at the administrative salary schedule, but, I'm glad that it goes to getting quality people.
And I assume this is comparable with other districts?
Yes.
All right, any other questions? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mrs. Hines?
Aye.
Mr. Colomans?
Aye.
All right. Next, we have approve capturing kids' hearts renewal.
Yeah, so we're asking to approve the Capturing Kids' Hearts contract as presented. The renewal will be paid from funds with the school health professional grant. It's how we've been paying it for the last few years, and we'd like to continue it. We've seen a lot of growth from Capturing Kids' Hearts at the primary and the intermediate school.
Make a motion to approve the capturing kids hearts contract.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve capturing kids' hearts renewal. Questions, comments?
Can we expand this to the junior, senior high, this program?
Yes, we can look at it to expand it. That's gonna be part of the work we come out of the strategic plan.
Okay. Thanks.
How much longer do we have that health grant, or is that something we have to apply for every year?
Well, we have, so we have the money right now. It is a state grant, so unfortunately, we don't know if that grant's gonna come back. So we had the money saved for this, so we'll take care of it now. We're spending all that down by the end of this, June 30 this year. I'm hoping it comes back, but right now it's just really, it's touch and go with all of what everything the state's having to do with their, you know, several $billion deficit they're balancing. So they, you know, it looks like they're getting ready to approve the budget, but the grants are something different and we'll find out where we're at. So, I mean, it's just, we have to wait and see.
So when this program expands to junior, senior high, the cost will go up, right?
Yes.
I will say a lot of the teachers talk very highly of this program and the effects that it has on their students. And I think the teachers do a good job of executing this program. I believe we've been a showcase school at the intermediate and the primary for 3 years. Yeah, 2 or 3 years, 3 years. So I think it's really great that we can bring this for not only our students, but also to support our staff.
One of my favorite things when you walk in to a classroom, they have as part of the Capturing Kids' Hearts, each class has an ambassador that they have to apply for. And those kids walk up, introduce themselves to you, and they will tell you what they're working on, what they're studying. You know, it always makes me smile when you walk in and the kids are excited to come tell you about what's going on in their classroom.
And they know their role too. When we walked in,
Yes.
kids right away came up, hi, I'm our classroom ambassador.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's neat to see that.
I was at a town hall assembly last month and they recognized the 6th graders because they had so many students apply to be the ambassador. So that was really cool to see all
Yeah.
the involvement.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of very positive things about this program.
See, that's why I think it's important, since the 6th graders are so excited about it, you should follow them up to the door.
However, sometimes brain chemistry doesn't always make it as exciting as something very regular is.
Any other questions or comments? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mrs. Hines?
Aye.
Mr. Coleman?
Aye.
All right. Approved 2026-2027 Chartwell's renewal.
Yes, so I recommend approving the 26-27 Chartwell's renewal in the amount of $29,000, $820, as presented. Chartwell's is the district food service provider.
I'll make a motion to approve the 26-27 Chartwell's renewal contract.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 2026-2027 Chartwell's renewal in the amount of $29,820 as presented. Questions, comments?
I would just like to make a comment, since we're recording and we're on. Chartwell's is an independent contractor from East Otero School District. So when people get upset about the menu or things like that, that's not East Otero School District's control, correct? It's Chartwell. Right, and so, as we follow chains of command, I think that there are parents that need to, recognize that meal choice needs to follow along that too. And you talk to the kitchen supervisor, you talk to Chartwell's, because our only option is just not to continue a contract and former, correct? I mean, yeah. So I just want to make that a public statement because I hear people talking about, oh, you change the menus, and that's not something East Otero School District controls, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I know during meet and confer, some of the staff brought up, the staff wanted larger proportions than the students were getting, which makes sense. Was that ever addressed?
That was, we worked, it was at the primary and we
Yeah.
did work with them on that.
Do you know, are they going to be doing the summer lunch
Yes.
program?
Yes. There'll be more information coming out, but they have prepared, and we're getting ready to send that out to the community.
All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mrs. Hines.
Aye.
Mr. Coleman.
Aye.
All right, letter G, approve supply fan motor, by train for the swimming pool.
Yeah, so this is, we're asking for $16,005, to fix the fan motor installation. When we approved back in, I can't remember, it was January, when we did the original one, they went in, they figured out that the fan needed to be fixed as well, so that is that, to make sure this will be to get the pool operational. Because right now, we haven't been operational in a while.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the supply fan motor for this swimming pool.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the supply fan motor and installation by train for the swimming pool in the amount of $16,005. Questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mrs. Hines.
Aye.
Mr. Coleman.
Aye.
All right, letter H, approve revised exhibit JQ-E on first revised final reading and approve revised exhibit JQ-E list of fees on first revised final. Is that on there twice? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Okay. Like, wait a second,
Karen, we needed to type it 5 times.
no, you're good.
You wanna be sure.
I want to be sure.
Dr. K.
It's a requirement we have to have policy that reflects our actual fees. The band wants to increase fees from $15 to $20, and the ceramics fee is $30.
Make a motion to approve revised exhibit JQE.
I'll second it, sorry.
I have a motion and a second to approve revised exhibit JQ-E on first revised final reading. Questions, comments?
How does this compare to our neighboring districts, you know?
I don't know how it compares to our neighboring districts, but I know in bigger locations, this is extremely, not very much money compared to what I've seen in other places.
All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mrs. Hines.
Aye.
Mr. Coleman.
Aye.
All right. And board comments.
I hardly ever have a comment, so could I? Because I may not have one again. I just saw in our, people resigning and retiring, and I wanna make a statement of somebody that she put up with me for a long time. And I wanna recognize her, because when she came to the district, I was really honest, and I said, you know what, I don't need anything from you, don't come up, bother me, I don't need to do this. And, I learned a lot from her, just when she would come in and she'd say, you know, Nick, this is how we need to do this. And so, I mean, I know we all get old, we have to retire, not that you'll ever get old. We're grandparents and we haven't always seen eye to eye on stuff, but I don't even know how long we worked together. But I can honestly say that I enjoyed working with her every day that I did. And so I just wanted, and I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but I want to recognize Jennifer Fox Open for her commitment to the And I never served under her when she was principal, really. When I was there, she was assistant principal, and what were you, the instructional coach? That's why I said she taught me.
stuff, and she would, especially the year I did junior high, she was invaluable that year. So thank you, yeah.
Well, I never worked for Mrs. Foxover, but I wish you best and hope you have a lot of time with your grandchildren. So, and Mr. Bickle can give you some pointers about Disney World. So
We're all on a cruise.
the last thing, two things I just want to say. I know we're getting into a really busy time of the year with plays and concerts and programs. So I just want to wish all the faculty and students and staff good luck and hang in there. It's almost inside. And the final thing is, I know it was a little depressing tonight and frustrating listening to our audit report, but we really do have a lot of good things going on in this district, and we've got good leadership and it sounded a lot, not trying to diminish or downplay the significance of what we heard, but just hang in there, stick with us. We're headed in the right direction.
We had an accountability meeting recently. We really encourage the community to come in and participate in that. It's not just parents and faculty and kids, it's everybody is welcome. We talked a lot about strategic plan, about kids being involved, and we also talked about, let's see, what else? Oh, our curriculum and how it's doing. The next thing is we were supposed to have a BOCES meeting this month, but it was canceled, unfortunately. And then, let's see, what was the other thing?
In regards to the audit, I will say that the things that he pointed out that we need to implement and to put into place, it's nice to know that those things are already happening. So it's kind of, these are the things that you need to do, but you're already doing it now. So that was nice to hear. As far as our teaching staff, we are nearing the end of the school year. So I know everybody's super excited and you're almost there. And I just appreciate all the work that they put in leading up to testing and all those end of year activities. Lastly, with the pool, I think it would be nice if we put together some type of committee with staff, community, all those interested parties to come up with a plan to better manage the pool or opportunities that we have to better utilize that asset, whether it be birthday parties, open swim, or even bringing curriculum to our students so that it's something that benefits our students directly. I think that would be something good to have put together.
Yeah, even if we didn't get somebody surfing the beach.
All right, if there's nothing else, we will adjourn at 7:43 p.m.
Yeah.